him having to move back to London and me going over there with him to live. Who is your favorite ex? I did a horrible thing and I'm not proud of this. You guys, I'm back with another Q&A video. I'm so excited. These are literally one of my favorite videos to film, probably because I could talk to a brick wall. I could literally talk forever. I love talking. No, but in all seriousness, I love filming Q&As because I just feel like it helps me stay connected to you guys. You're like my friends, you're like my family. You don't really get a lot of insight on my personal life or just what's going on in my life in general through my hauls. I mean, I do vlogs, but some of you may not watch those vlogs, which you definitely should. But you know, so I feel like doing a Q&A every 3 months helps to keep you guys in the loop. I will say the last one I posted was over 5 months ago. It was almost 6 months ago. So we gotta change that because I like to do these quarterly on my channel. I asked you guys over on my community tab on my YouTube channel to ask me questions for this video, and so many of you did, and I'm so eternally grateful for every single one of you that asked me a question, and I'm going to do my absolute best to answer every single one. I believe I got 19 questions. I have them written down in my notes app on my phone. Here we are, found them. And I'm going to answer them for you guys. And of course, I had to pour a nice glass of wine for this video. It's like a tradition that I started in my Q&As. This might only be the second time that I've done this, but it's a tradition now, okay? Also, if it's really noisy outside my apartment, it's because there's a baseball game going on. And there's an ambulance and a fire truck going by. But yeah, there's a baseball game going on like right outside my window. So it might be a little noisy, but we're gonna hope that it's not. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the more chill questions, and then I've got some juicier ones towards the end. I got a few questions about moving, where I see myself living, if I would move anywhere, stuff like that. So first one is, would you live in a city where you don't need a car? I also got, would you live part-time in London? And would you consider moving anywhere else to live, full or part-time, both currently and in the future? If yes, where? So I'm gonna answer them like as a whole and like group them together. The first part of the question, would I live in a city where I don't need a car? I would, but I wouldn't want to, if that makes any sense. I love driving. I absolutely love my car, and just having that freedom of being able to jump in my car in the morning or whenever it is and go grab a coffee or go grab food or, you know, run to my parents' house really quick is just amazing. And that's part of the reason why I don't live in a bigger city. I mean, I know you can drive in a bigger city, but like I was thinking about moving to Charlotte at one point in my life after I graduated college, and I ultimately decided that I didn't want to because I like where I am right now, Winston, because it's a smaller town vibe on the outskirts, but then you do get like a good bit of city life in like downtown and stuff. But I'm still able to drive. I've got tons of back roads, and yeah, I just don't like city driving. In Charlotte, there's a lot of parking garages, parking decks, there's no like parking lots, and the traffic is insane, and I just like not being stressed out when I'm driving. Would I live part-time in London? That goes back to the car question, because yes, I definitely would. Me and Luke were actually talking about it a few months back. Essentially, our goal and our dream is to have 2 places. So one here and one in London. Obviously, if I were to have a place in London, I wouldn't be driving. And so when we were thinking about potentially him having to move back to London and me going over there with him to live, this was a few months ago, I got really sad because I was like, I wouldn't have my car. But yes, I absolutely would live part-time in London. That is the goal. Would you consider moving anywhere else to live, full or part-time, both currently and in the future? If yes, where? So other than London, I don't really have anywhere that I would want to move right now. I'm super close to my family, and at this point of life that I'm in right now, and at the age that I am right now, I just feel like it's super important to stay here and be close to everybody. And I just don't have any desire to move out of state right now. If I had to move, if somebody was like, you have to move somewhere in the US right now, it would probably be to Charlotte. I'm an hour away from Charlotte right now, so it wouldn't be that much different, but I would either move to Charlotte or maybe Charleston, South Carolina. I'm not a big beach girl though, so I don't know how much I would like that. But the only thing that is really holding me back here is my friends and family. And I mean, like, this is just home. And I do love North Carolina. I really do. But I could definitely see myself living in London for a little bit or for a long time. What TV shows are you currently watching, and are you reading any books currently? Definitely follow me on Goodreads because I update that every time I start a new book and finish a new book. I rate it on there and whatnot. I'm currently reading, I think it's called A Beautiful Couple. It's like a suspense thriller. It's really good. Well, it's good so far. I'm about halfway through. But my genres that I like and stick to are suspense, thriller, a little bit of romance. But yeah, I love psychological thrillers, like anything like that. I'm not into fantasy. I'm not into like just straight romance. Like, I like plot twists. For TV shows, I watch a lot of TV. I usually will have TV on like while I'm working on my computer, editing and whatnot. But the only one that I'm watching currently is White Lotus, and the season premiere airs this Sunday. So I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. But I watch so many shows on Netflix and just Hulu, HBO. I could do a whole separate video on that, but it would be really boring, so I'll spare you. But currently is White Lotus. But let me know your recommendations down below. I like a little bit of everything. What is your dream vehicle? So honestly, I don't really have one. I love my car so much. So if I had the opportunity like to get another car without money being an issue, I don't know what my answer would be. Probably just like a newer version of what I have, but like maybe a bigger one. It used to be a G-Wagon, not so much anymore. I feel like I'm gonna be like team Land Rover, Range Rover till I die, because I've had Mercedes, I've had BMW, I've had Jeeps, but I love my Range Rover so freaking much. Like, I'm still obsessed with that car 3 years later. So probably just the most decked out Range Rover there is. That's probably my dream vehicle. I don't know. So what are your top Holy Grail makeup products in each category? So I actually just did a TikTok on my Sephora sale recommendations, and I feel like I did a really good job of like condensing it to like my top picks. So I'll have that video linked down below, and I also did an LTK post for that TikTok, so I'll have that in the description as well if you want to shop through that post. Yeah, definitely use that post as like a guideline for my Holy Grails, because all of them are. What is your skincare routine? So I've been struggling with my skin a little bit recently. I just posted a TikTok. It was like an 8-minute long TikTok of my skincare journey and my Accutane journey over the past like 13 years of my life. So definitely go watch that if you want to know like full in depth of just like my skincare and acne journey. But I've recently had to switch things up with my skincare. I only use medical grade skincare for the most part, and all of it's always linked on my LTK in the skincare product section. Recently, my skin has been freaking out on me like crazy. I mean, I normally get hormonal acne just because I have PCOS and whatnot, but it's been different this time. Like, I've had really bad clogged pores in my T-zone, but mostly like right in here, like my forehead area. And my esthetician even was like, girl, I haven't seen it this bad on you ever. And I was like, I know. So she did a chemical peel, and I'm using whatever she gave me as like aftercare for the chemical peel. I was supposed to use that for 5 days and then transition and switch back to my normal skincare routine. But then I was like, this is going so good. My skin looks great with these products. I'm just gonna finish up the little mini size products that she gave me and then switch back to my old routine. But I'm a little scared because I'm like, what if my skin freaks out again? But she told me if that happens and my pores are clogged like really bad again, just go back to her and we're gonna like completely revamp my skincare regimen. But my skincare routine is always linked on my LTK. I will post one of my recent vlogs whenever I did my skincare in a vlog. I'll have that down below. But updates to come on that. What does your boyfriend do for work or studying to do? So Luke is actually about to graduate in May. He graduated early in December, but his like official graduation date is in May. I'm so excited. All his family and friends are coming over, and we've got some vacations afterwards. It's gonna be so much fun. But he is studying, or studied, business, and then I think his minor or his concentration was in sports management or something with sports marketing. I don't really know. I probably should know that. He also, back in London, worked for his uncle's company. They own I'm trying not to butcher this because I never know how to say it, asbestos firm. Asbestos. It's like that toxic chemical or toxic fiber that you can find in like walls or like light fixtures and stuff like that. And yeah, so basically their company goes in and removes it for like huge job sites and homes and buildings, stuff like that. He doesn't do the removing because it's really dangerous. Like you can die from it. But he basically is like their project manager, and he basically like opens and closes the jobs, does the invoicing, talks to clients, all that stuff. So that's what he did back in London. He had the opportunity to like essentially run one of their firms. And he'll always have that option, God willing. So if things don't work out here, we've got that. Yeah, so right now he's actually doing wholesale real estate in Greensboro, and he's liking it so far. He's been doing that for like a month or two at this point. And yeah, so he likes it as far as I know, but I don't think that's like what he wants to do long term. He's got a few things that he like wants to do. I mean, maybe, who knows? He could end up like really liking what he's doing right now, but we'll have to confront that in a year whenever his work visa runs out, because then his company or a company has to pay a lot of money to keep him over here. He can't pay it himself. Like somebody has to pay, or like I said, we have to get married or he goes back. So yeah, but for right now, we're good. But he is so smart, like, he's incredibly smart, and literally any of his friends or family will tell you that. So I can see him doing a lot, and I know that in whatever he does, he's gonna be really good at it. What's your favorite random smell? Not like a perfume, but like gasoline or Sharpies. Whenever I was reading this, I immediately thought gasoline or Sharpies. Those were like my favorite smells growing up. Not so much anymore. Yeah, I don't really have a favorite random smell that I can think of other than my cat. I guess that's random. She smells like a beautiful fresh flower. I don't know how to describe it. And I'm like, how? Because how do you eat your nasty tuna, salmon, cat food and then bathe yourself all day, and then I go to sniff your fur and you smell like fresh linen, like fresh sheets? I don't understand, but I could smell her all day. What is your favorite fragrance? Ooh, this is a good one. It switches, it changes all the time. My current favorite one is probably Delina exclusive from Parfums de Marly, but my all-time favorite would probably be Kayali's 28 Vanilla 28. Maybe. I also love my Bond No. 9 fragrance that I have. It's like very unique, and I love that because I don't know anybody else that has it, or that's even talked about it. I got it in London. I mean, you can buy it over here, but it was very expensive. It was like $500. But yeah, I love that fragrance. Oh, Luna's just meowing at me because she wanted in the door. What would you like to see more of from Lululemon? So honestly, my favorite things that Lulu comes out with are the Hottie Hot shorts and Align pants, like with a matching bra, like the Flow Y bra. I love that for Pilates. Those are like my favorite, like top 3 products, I would say, from Lululemon at the moment. Don't hold me to that though, because it changes a lot, but I wear Align pants and Flow Y bra or any kind of sports bra from Lulu every day to Pilates. And then I love my Hottie Hot shorts. So I would just like to see more colors and maybe like slightly different variations in those styles. I also would love to see them like capitalize on this whole like Pilates princess movement. And like Pilates is a very popular workout right now for a good reason. It's amazing. It's completely changed my life, like my mental health, my physical health. I am seeing like changes in my body that I didn't know I could ever see. Love Pilates so much. Anyways, I digress. I wish that they would do more like Pilates kind of like tops, like the wrap tops. They did just come out with one, but it needs a little work. I'm not obsessed with it, but maybe just some more wrap tops. Just anything that just screams like Pilates, maybe even some grip socks. I would love that. I just wish they would do like a Pilates princess drop and have some fun stuff like that. I mean, I know they have a lot of stuff like geared for yoga. I mean, they're an activewear brand. But I just wish they would get like very specific and do like a campaign almost for like Pilates or something. I don't know. What do I know? Next question is there a career you'd rather have? I can honestly see myself doing so many things. I'll keep it short and simple, but my career trajectory and like my career goals have changed a lot since like high school even. Once upon a time I thought I wanted to own a boutique, and then I don't anymore. I thought I was going to take over my dad's business. We sold the business, and then my dad and I were gonna go into business together, and then that fell through. And now I'm doing this full time, and I absolutely love this. Like, I would not trade this for the world. I'm gonna continue doing this no matter what I do in life. But I am gonna go back to school in the fall. I'm very, very excited to get a master's degree. And then after that, I honestly could see myself working in any form of marketing, like digital marketing, social media marketing, PR. I'm very interested in that. Me and my dad are still constantly thinking and sharing ideas on potential business plans. So yeah, at the moment, I'm very happy with this career, but I do see myself doing something else alongside of YouTube in the future. I just don't know what that is, but I feel like once I get my master's in marketing, I will not be able to be stopped, and I could potentially get a really good job that I want to do and that I'm really passionate about. So very excited about that. I don't know what the future holds in terms of my future and like my career and whatnot, but I am just riding the wave and trusting God, and it just makes me really excited because I don't have it all planned out, but I have several options, if that makes sense. It's not like I'm struggling to find something that I'm passionate about or struggling to find a job, or like I don't want to work. It's not that at all. It's just I have so many potential opportunities, or like so many things that I could be doing or like see myself doing, that I don't want to like pick the wrong thing, and so I'm just taking it day by day. I got a couple questions about pets. Would you get a friend for Luna, and would you ever get another pet? I would get another pet in the future, probably another rag doll, probably a dog in the future. I just don't have a timeline for it. And honestly, Luna is enough. She is my world. I love her so much. I can't imagine having another animal and loving them as much as I love Luna. Like, it might sound like selfish. Maybe this is like my only child syndrome that's like coming out right now, but like I just feel like I want to give her all my love and all my attention. I know I would love if I had another cat. I would love that cat just as much, but I don't know. Maybe it's selfish of me to say like I just want her right now. Like, I don't know. But then also there's another part of me that would have 300 ragdoll cats, so I don't know. But yes, in the future, definitely. Where do you want to travel to in the near future? I would love to travel like everywhere in Europe. I want to go to several different countries in Europe. I love Europe so much. I also want to go to Asia. I'd love to go to Thailand. Fun fact, but every single weekend when I go out, I always get questions on my ethnicity, and 99.9% of the time, people think I'm Asian. And I'm flattered because Asians are beautiful. And yeah, it's just so funny. Like last weekend, this guy like was like, hey, he was talking to me and my best friend. He was like, hey ladies, he was like, you know I like Asians, and clearly he was talking about me, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I was like, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not even kidding you. At least 1 or 2 people every single weekend when I go out ask me if I'm Asian. So if you thought I was, I am not. I'm 100%, not 100%, I'm white, but I do have a little bit of Native American Indian in me. What are your top 3 favorite clothing brands other than Lululemon? Aritzia, number 1, obviously. I'm like a Aritzia enthusiast, Aritzia addict, Aritzia queen at this point. Aritzia, Revolve, Skims. I love Skims, like loungewear and stuff. Other than that, I don't really know. I don't really shop any other places other than like occasionally Anthropologie, Free People, Princess Polly, but like Revolve is like the mecca. Like they've got every single brand. So yeah, I like For Love and Lemons, love Chic Fancy, but I would say the majority of my closet is Revolve and Aritzia, and obviously I have a whole dedicated closet to Lululemon. Would you ever take your extensions out? No. I'm sure I would eventually, but I do not see that happening anytime in the near future. I love my extensions, and if I were to go back brunette, which I'm not planning on doing anytime soon, but if I were to go back to my natural hair color, which is this color, it would be so easy to grow my hair out to what it was previously before I started bleaching it, literally almost 10 years ago. And it would be probably just as thick and just as long. No issue, I wouldn't need extensions, but I still would probably have extensions because I just love extensions so much. It allows me to do hairstyles that I would normally not be able to do. But maybe eventually, like maybe if and when I'm in my mommy era, my wifey era, I might chop off all my hair and go back brunette. I don't know. The last 2 questions are a little juicy, so I'm excited for them. I didn't get that many like deep or juicy questions in this video. You guys were holding back on me, but it's okay. First one is, who is your favorite ex? I will preface this by saying I'm actually friends with the majority of my exes, even guys that I talked to for a little bit, but we didn't make it official, or like situationships, whatnot. I'm pretty much friends with every single guy that I've talked to or dated, seriously, except one that I dated when I was 16 who's an actual psychopath and he scares me, and then like 1 other ex, okay, for good reasons. But everybody else I'm completely cool with. With that being said, my favorite ex is Brandon. He was my high school sweetheart, I guess. We were actually best friends for like 4 years prior to dating, and we dated in high school, and then we went to college together, and then ultimately we just decided we just needed to be friends. and I'm very, very grateful for him. I have so much love for him. I care about him so much, and he is just a huge part of my story. And yeah, I feel like we both played a really big role in each other's lives, like growing up and whatnot, and like learning about ourselves and how relationships work and stuff like that. But yeah, so we broke up in 2019, and I just really wanted to find myself. We went to like a really small private high school and hadn't really experienced a lot of like the outside world, I guess. And so when I got a little taste of that, I just wanted to like be alone and find myself. And so we broke up, and we remained friends for a little bit afterwards, and then we weren't friends. We both got into relationships and just didn't really talk. And then back in 2022, we were both going through breakups at the same time and rekindled and became friends again, and like we're talking 24/7, very, very close, like hanging out a lot. And then it was like that for like a year and a half. Like he was like literally, it was like we were best friends again. It was like we were in high school again, minus like the relationship part. It was completely platonic, obviously. And then in 2023, yeah, end of 2023, we both got into our now long-term serious relationships at the same time. Like we literally had breakups during the same month, and then got into relationships a year and a half later within the same month, which was kind of crazy. So now we still talk like occasionally, and I see him occasionally, and he's great. He's so successful, and he's doing so good, and I'm so proud of him, and I have nothing bad to say about him. But yeah, we're still friends. I love him so much. But it's so funny, you could see him on my channel, like if you go back in my old videos, but he's a sweetheart. I actually did a prank on him like after we broke up. If that tells you anything, like with that video, I'm not gonna link it or anything, but if you want to go find it, go find it. We just have that kind of relationship. But I met his now girlfriend, he's met Luke, so like everything's good there. Okay, last one. What was your worst date experience, if you have one? Story time. Okay, so I've actually answered this a few other times in previous Q&As, and I wasn't gonna answer this one because I've answered it before, but honestly I was like, I have another one since that video. So I posted a Q&A in 2019, I think it was 2019, and I talked about my worst date story time to that date. I didn't really have much experience at that point because me and Brandon hadn't been broken up for that long at that point, but I went on like a semi-formal date for a frat, and it was a nightmare. So I'll have the video linked down below. And then another one I went on in 2022, hold on. Yeah, maybe it was like the end of 2022. Yes. And I talked about that in another Q&A. I'll have that link down below. That one was crazy. I basically got way too drunk on the first date and had my ex-boyfriend, one of my ex-boyfriends, pick me up at 4 a.m. and I ended up loosely dating this guy for 3 months after this. So it was kind of crazy because that should have just told me, like, that experience, like, girl, if you had to get that drunk on the first date, like, what are you doing? It was a whole thing. But my now newest worst date story time, probably the worst one, is what I'm about to tell you. So I hope to God that this guy is not watching this video. I don't know why he would be. It was 2023, and I want to say it was like the spring of 2023, or like maybe spring, summer of 2023. I was actually going through a breakup at the time with a guy you don't even, like, I never mentioned him on my channel. But I was going through a breakup, and I got on the dating apps and was just trying to like get out there, you know, and like start dating again, trying to get over my breakup. And so I went on Hinge, and I matched with this guy, and we would Snapchat, and he lived like kind of close by, and so he wanted to hang out, and he's like, I want to take you out, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I don't like dinner dates because you're trapped. I prefer like a drink date because then you can go your separate ways. But he was coming from like an hour and a half away, and so I just didn't feel comfortable like asking him to like meet me out at the bar and then him be like stuck at my apartment or whatever. I just didn't want to put him in that situation or put us in that situation. So I was like, how about we go to a baseball game? Because me and my girlfriends would go to baseball games like at least twice a week at this point. We loved going to baseball games. And I was living in Greensboro at this point, and so yeah, I was like, how about we go to this baseball game? Because me and my girlfriends had already planned to go to this game like a week prior. And so I told them, I was like, hey, is it okay if I like go with this guy and like y'all can still go or whatever, we just won't sit together. They're like, yeah, whatever. So he buys our ticket, as he should. And I'm not gonna say what his career was or what his job was, but I will say he was in the medical field, okay? So he was like, I'm coming straight from work to your apartment to pick you up and we'll go to the game. And so he drove to my apartment, and I look out my window, and because he calls me, he's like, I'm here. And I had to go get him from like downstairs because my apartment building was like really hard to get into. And so I look out my window to see like where he's at, and I see him, and I'm like, that's not him. Like, no, that's not him. Like, that can't be him. And it's not that he was ugly. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he looked completely different than, like, his pictures and, like, when we would Snapchat. I don't know if he was, like, what he was doing. But it looked like a completely different person. But, like I said, he was not ugly. And that's not what I'm saying at all. But he just looked a lot different. And I could tell that from my window. And I was like, this is weird. Like, this does not look like that guy. So, anyways, he comes up to my apartment and he brings a bag to change. So, he's, like, wearing his, like, hospital scrubs in my apartment. And I'm like a germaphobe. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, you're not even gonna shower? Like, what? So he goes and changes, whatever. And then we go down. He's gonna drive us to the game. So as we're, you know, leaving my apartment, I'm thinking, why is he not grabbing his backpack and bringing it to his car? Because after the game, like, he's just gonna go home. Or we had talked about playing pool at a bar afterwards. But like, even then, like, he would just drop me off. Like, there's no need for him to keep his bag in my apartment. That was such a huge turn off, because I'm like, what is your motive, dude? Like, why are you trying to keep a bag at my apartment? Like, do you have plans to stay over? Because that's not happening. And so that really turned me off. So I immediately texted my girlfriends that were coming to the game, and I was like, help. I was like, I can't remember if they were still coming at this point or if they had decided not to come. But I was like, I need y'all to come. Like, I need you to help me out. So they ended up coming, and obviously we didn't sit together, but I did tell them, I was like, hey, like, I have some friends that are going to be at this game. We don't have to sit with them or anything. And in the parking lot when we parked, one of my friends was parked, like, right beside us. And she was like, wait, that's him? Like, that doesn't look like his pictures. I was like, I know. So anyways, me and him go sit, like, somewhere completely different from where they were sitting. And I, you know, whatever. I bought our drinks. Like, this kind of put a bad taste in my mouth too, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get a drink. Like, do you want anything? And he was like, yeah, like, get me this. And I'm like, and I think he said something like, since I bought the tickets, you can buy the drink. And that, I was like, that's a little weird. Like, you're taking me on a date, especially for the first date. I don't know, like, you can't buy me a $5 Truly. Like, it was just a little weird. So I go get us drinks, whatever. And I mean, me and him are just not vibing. Like, he was nice, whatever. I just was like so turned off by the fact that he left this bag in my apartment. And so I did a horrible thing, and I'm not proud of this at all, but I faked being sick because he wanted to go play pool at a bar nearby afterwards. And it was like a weeknight, okay? And so at that point I was like, he's not gonna want to drive all the way back home after this game ends and then we go play pool. Like, he's definitely planning on staying. So yeah, he had mentioned going to play pool or whatever. And so during the game, I'm like, I don't really feel too good. Like, this is weird. I don't really feel like drinking. I don't feel good. I have a headache, whatever. So then we meet up somehow. I'm like, oh, my friends are over there. Like, let's go sit with them. Because I could not take it anymore. Like, I couldn't even have a conversation with him. Like, we just were not vibing. Like, and I was trying so hard to make conversation. It was just not happening. So we go and sit with my friends. And I had Snapchatted them. I was like, meet me in the bathroom. Like, we got to talk. And so I told them. And they were like, yeah, just like pop Advil and like pretend like you're sick and you don't feel good, so you don't have to go play pool after. So it's not like I left the day early or anything. I just got out of the after date because I didn't want him staying at my apartment. And I did, like, there's so many variables. But yeah, so I was literally sitting there, sunglasses on, and I was drinking my Truly, and my friends were like, you need to stop drinking because he's gonna know you're not sick. So I stopped drinking. I literally didn't even have a full drink, and I'm like popping Advil, like, ugh. I'm like, I just don't feel good. And I feel so bad because that is like, I don't know, I should have just told him like, hey, like, I just want to go home after, like, whatever. Then afterwards, he's like, I'll drive you back. And I'm like, okay. So he drives me back. He goes back up to my apartment, to get his bag, obviously, duh. I'm like, bye. And he leaves, and then my friends were waiting outside in their car, and I jumped in their car and we went to the bar and played pool. So, and I didn't ghost him or anything. Like, we still like continued like texting and Snapchatting for like not a couple weeks. It was like a week after that, because I just didn't want to be like, you freaking catfished me, or you left your bag in my apartment. Like, I don't know. I just didn't want to be like confrontational. So I just kind of let it fizzle out. And that was that. We never saw each other again, but hope he's doing well. But yeah, I definitely felt a little catfished, and we just didn't get along, and I just didn't like how he fully brought an overnight bag to my apartment on the first date. Like, that was so unattractive and so not okay. So guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel below, and click that bell up every Sunday and Wednesday. Also, don't forget to follow me on all my social medias, which are on the screen, also listed and linked in the description box below. I love chatting with you guys. I love answering your questions. So a huge thank you to everybody who asked me a question. And if you didn't get the chance to in this one, then definitely do so in my next one. I'll probably do another one in like 3 months or so. So yeah, Luna is now sitting right beside me because she's attached to my hip. But anyways, I love you guys so, so much, and I will hopefully see you all very soon in my next one. Bye guys.